What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality Podcast. I'm your host. I am Caitlin Kenna. This is, my third, fourth, I don't even remember how many times I've recorded or tried to record this episode, but funny story, I recorded this entire episode yesterday on a different laptop, and I went back and listened to the audio, and it was all skipping, scrambled. It sounded like a fucking mess. So we're going to just redo it. And so far, it seems to be working on this older laptop. So, I might have to bring my other laptop into the Geek Squad over at Best Buy this weekend to try and get that sorted out. But, we definitely could have worse problems for sure. That's definitely a first world issue, right? Blessed to be able to even have the opportunity to have the technology to actually be able to do this. So, guys, let me just get into today. So today, what we're going to talk about, we're going to go into the nutrition, fitness, health side of things. And the reason being is, for those of you who don't know, I've been in the fitness industry for over a decade. I've been a personal trainer, I've been a coach, I've been a gym manager, I've been in all different realms of the fitness space. And, I have my degree in nutrition, I have a lot of credentials, and I am definitely not the most knowledgeable person on the planet, not even close. I'm definitely not the best expert, but I have a lot of experience, and I wanted to kind of start bringing that nutrition fitness side of things into the podcast, because the goal of this podcast is to help people, to help at least one person become a better version of themselves. And I strongly believe that really starts with getting your health together, right? And health, we talk about nutrition, we talk about fitness, we talk about mindset. So in addition to having the episodes of the podcast that go a little bit into my story, my background, as well as just kind of attacking the mindset, discipline, mental toughness side of things, I also wanted to bring a little bit of my work and my career into this and talk a lot about nutrition and fitness. So we're going to kind of bring it back and forth between different topics. So always expect something new, and you can learn a lot from the podcast, not just, different things when it comes to your mindset and perspective, but a little bit also when it comes to your health. So the first topic that I wanted to get into was metabolism. And I know that it's like, well, metabolism, that's a big word. But today I want to talk about ways that we can increase your metabolism. And the reason why I'm very passionate about this topic, or that I wanted to cover it first, is, this is a really important topic from a results standpoint, because each and every person who's listening to this podcast, I can bet, is listening because you're after some type of a result. You didn't just click on an episode of the podcast that mentioned, increasing your metabolism, and said, I'm just going to listen to this for funsies. No, I'm pretty sure that you're listening to it for a reason. You want to change your body in some way, shape, or form. So there's a reason you're here. And one of those reasons is because your results are important to you. So as a coach, my foundational goal for all of my clients is to help them increase their metabolism, because when you increase your metabolism, you're going to burn more calories just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. So that will help you lead to long-term sustainable results that are going to actually change your life. Because guys, let's be honest, anybody can lose weight. We've all lost weight at some point in our life, right? But we don't want to just lose weight. I want you to lose body fat, and I want you to keep it off instead of losing weight, gaining it back, and staying in this bouncy cycle where you constantly have to start over, because that's no way to live. Let's get that weight off, and let's keep it off. And the best way to do that is by increasing your metabolism. So when we increase your metabolism, like I already mentioned, you're going to burn more calories at rest. You're also going to be able to eat more food while still losing or maintaining your weight. You don't have to restrict yourself as much in order to get to your goals. And the most important thing, because of the world that we live in, is that you're able to actually enjoy your life and do things that you love while still earning results. And those are all things that I know that you want, that I know that my clients want. So I know that it's pretty common out there. All right. But, I want you to think in your head, and I want you to ask yourself, have you ever lost weight before and then just gained it back, and maybe even then some? Be honest with yourself. We have all been on some sort of a restrictive diet, and I'm sure you can probably remember how absolutely miserable that you felt on that diet. And I don't want that for you, So let's kind of get into how we can increase your metabolism. And these are all things that you can actually go out and do today, and they're not going to magically do anything, right? But when you do them consistently over time, just like anything, they're going to produce a result, but again, consistently over time. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen in 3 weeks. Might take a couple months, but I promise that it will fucking work. You just have to stick with it, okay? Now, when it comes to increasing your metabolism, guys, it all comes back to one thing, okay? Muscle. And muscle is expensive. And I don't mean that you have to go and buy muscle and it's expensive to buy. That's not what I mean, okay? So what I mean by that is that muscle requires a lot of energy or a lot of calories just for your body to maintain. Muscle is the only tissue in your body that is actively burning calories. So I talk about this a lot because of how important it is. You know, the more muscle that we have, the more calories that we burn at rest. That means that we have a faster metabolism, which means that we're going to have more fat loss. And the most important thing, guys, we're going to have more sustainable fat loss. Okay? And that's pretty cool to me. So increasing your metabolism starts with muscle. So that's the number one most effective way to increase your metabolism and burn more calories. Having more muscle can also help to combat the negative effects of a sedentary lifestyle. So if you're sitting at a desk all day, but you have more muscle than this person next to you sitting at the same desk all day, you're going to just be burning more calories because your body is maintaining that muscle. Okay? So everything that helps you build muscle is going to, therefore, increase your metabolism. But again, I need to stress it. It doesn't happen overnight. It's things that we do consistently over time. You're not going to build a crap ton of muscle in 2 weeks. It doesn't work that way. Just like you didn't get to the point that you're at right now in 2 weeks, it doesn't work that way. And another reason why I wanted to talk about this topic today is because, I worked in gyms for 7+ years. And one of the biggest things that people would come up and tell me, whether it was as a personal trainer, or as a fitness manager, or just as a GM, is that, hey, I can't see the results that I want just because I have a slow metabolism. Well, I mean, in all reality, the majority of people who say they have a slow metabolism are actually just not doing the work. Like, your lifestyle determines the speed of your metabolism in some way, shape, or form, right? Because if you're not weight training, if you're not, staying on top of your nutrition, if you're going to McDonald's every day, if you're not moving, then yeah, your metabolism is going to be fucking slow. But the reason being is because you're just eating too much crap and you're not moving enough. And, it just comes down to habits. But let's get into these 5 reasons, okay? So number 1 is resistance training or lifting weights, right? And resistance training and lifting weights, we're not just talking about going to the gym and picking up some dumbbells or barbells. We're talking about also like squats, lunges, push-ups. Your body weight can be that resistance, okay? Going on a weighted vest walk and having resistance, that can also be a form of resistance training. So don't overcomplicate it. So I want you to first start off and think, wait, but isn't the key to fat loss cardio because it burns more calories? Well, not really. In fact, not at all. So look, there's nothing wrong with cardio. Cardio is extremely beneficial for health, longevity, and it can be a great tool when it's used appropriately for fat loss, right? Keyword there being appropriately. Most people abuse it, right? If you do cardio solely with the mindset to lose fat and you use that cardio as the majority of your movement in that pursuit, you are missing out. So let me explain it a little bit. When you go on a run, you burn a decent amount of calories until you stop running. Then when you stop burning additional calories. On the flip side, you may burn less calories during a weight training session, but you don't stop burning calories when the workout is done. Your body actually continues to burn additional calories throughout the day, and there are actually a lot of studies showing resting metabolism, or the calories that you burn at rest, staying elevated for up to 38 hours after a weight training session, while no such increase has been reported with cardio. And that's something to think about, because 38 hours, that's more than a day of increased calorie burn. And if you're resistance training on a consistent basis, it just kind of continues and you get a lot of momentum, and that's how we increase the amount of calories that you burn throughout the day, right? Now, number 2 is protein intake. I mention protein a lot. I mention protein all of the time. If you follow me on social media, I talk about it a fuck ton. And the reason being is that the benefits of protein are incredible, not just for muscle, but also for longevity and overall health. Okay? The problem that we have in our country right now with obesity isn't a problem with body fat. It's a problem with people being under-muscled. Okay? And that's kind of where the protein comes into play too. So I want to ingrain in your brain how critical protein is for your results. So let's break it down. The calories that you eat consist of 3 macros. We got your carbs, proteins, and your fats. Now, carbs and fats are primarily used for fuel, as well as some other things like fats are used for hormone production, cognitive health, but protein, on the other hand, is used for growth, repair, and rebuilding. So anything in your body that requires growth, repair, and building requires protein. So muscle requires protein. And the protein that we eat is made up of amino acids. And those amino acids are actually the building blocks for muscle. So I push this so much because most people just don't eat enough protein to support their metabolism. And that number kind of looks like about 1 gram per pound of your body weight, or of your goal body weight if you have a significant amount of weight to lose. So the average American consumes around 100 grams of protein a day. And I'm going to be honest, that's nowhere near enough for the majority of people to actually reap fat loss benefits from it. That's maybe enough to prevent malnutrition, but low protein intake is a huge contributing factor to the high rates of obesity that we have in our country. So, hit your protein goal, guys. And that just goes to one of my biggest tips, and I'll talk about this in another episode, which comes down to pre-tracking your nutrition and making sure that you are hitting those numbers to make sure that you're on the right path. Because when you have a plan and when you have something set in stone, it's much easier for you to execute it. All right. Number 3. This one is one that a lot of us probably overlook, and that is water and proper hydration. And I'll talk about proper hydration on another episode, because proper hydration goes more than just water. It's water and different electrolytes that our body needs for nervous system function and muscle contraction. But I can bet that a lot of pains, aches, low energy, brain fog, and other issues that people are struggling with can be fixed simply by drinking more water. I've seen it in my clients. It's almost magical. But we're talking about the metabolism today. So how does drinking more water help you increase your metabolism? Well, 2 ways that I want to talk about. One, a hydrated muscle is a happy muscle. So a properly hydrated muscle is going to be able to carry out muscle protein synthesis, which is the process of rebuilding muscle and burning body fat. It's going to be able to carry out that process much more efficiently. Okay? Number 2, a hydrated cell is a happy cell. So when your cells are hydrated, they work more efficiently. And when your cells are going to be working more efficiently, your metabolism works more efficiently. Plus, another reason we can kind of throw in there is that water helps your digestion. And when you have better digestion, you're more likely to absorb the nutrients and the protein that you're eating. And you're going to reduce inflammation. And it's just going to help with your results overall. And one more fun fact about our good old friend water is that drinking cold water has actually been researched to very, very slightly, but it does very slightly increase your calorie burn. And that happens because your body has to bring that temperature of the water up slightly when it is ingested. So more heat, more energy, which means more calories burned. So I thought that one was kind of interesting, but drink your water, be an adult, just drink your freaking water. And a couple tips I have on that one, like when you drink, chug. Like don't just take little sips, chug some water, okay? The other tip that I have, guys, is kind of like habit stacking, where you stack it with a habit that you already have in place. So eating is a habit for most of us, right? So if you struggle to drink enough water, at every meal, have 24 ounces of water. So then add that up throughout the day. If you're having 5 meals a day, that's close to 100 ounces of water, which is phenomenal. But that one's tough for a lot of people. So Water. Drink it. Number 4. I like this one. And this one is probably going to shock a lot of people, but maybe not, because I feel like it's been a topic that's been trending, we'll call it, in social media and in the nutrition space. But that's not eating enough. Yes, you have to be in a calorie deficit in order to lose weight. That's science, right? But the problem comes when that calorie deficit becomes too intense, too long, or too deep, where the stress you're putting on your body is so high that your body actually perceives that calorie deficit as a threat. And your body only cares about survival, not your six-pack. We were not put on this earth to reach very, very low body fat percentage levels and walk on the beach all shredded, unfortunately. So when you're eating so little, your body actually does everything in its power to conserve energy. And it does that through holding onto body fat, burning muscle for fuel instead of burning body fat. And that generally happens when our protein intake is not adequate. And then that goes down to slowing down the metabolism in order, again, to conserve energy. So your metabolism adapts so that it can survive on that low amount of calories. It just makes your body more efficient. It's supposed to do that. It's evolution, right? That's not the problem. Again, the problem becomes when you do it for too long, where your body adapts to the low calories. And then that means that the calorie deficit you once were in is no longer a calorie deficit. And now every time you try to eat more than 1,200 calories, you gain weight. So number 1, if you're in this position, if you're a female who can't lose weight on 1,600 calories or a male who can't lose weight on 1,800 calories, shoot me a message, because we need to make it a priority to restore your metabolism through slowly increasing calories and reducing stress. But the reality is, guys, that you can't build muscle with no fuel or barely any fuel. Your workouts will suffer. You're not going to be able to put any sort of intensity behind your training sessions to actually stimulate the muscle to break down and repair itself and grow. So remember, speeding up your metabolism starts with muscle. If you undereat, you're not supporting muscle. In fact, if you undereat too severely for too long of a period of time, you will lose muscle. Okay, and I actually have a client who I want to call out. Her name is Dara Flores. And Dara just got second place in our most recent 9-week challenge at Hidden Summit. So 9 weeks ago, she was eating a little under 1,500 calories, and she truly didn't believe that she could see results any other way. She just thought that, you have to eat very little, be restricted a little bit in order to see the results that you wanted, which is pretty a typical mindset when you're trying to lose weight, right? Now, she told me that she wanted to transform her body. And I told her, cool, we need to increase calories. Not a lot. We need to do a little bit. We'll see how your body responds. I could tell she was a little bit nervous, but she trusted me. And now she's eating close to 2,000 calories. Looks like a completely different person because she's leaned out so much and she's lost almost 20 pounds, right? So don't be afraid to eat. On top of that, she was also consistently getting movement in. She was doing 75 hard, so training twice a day. One of those workouts was an outdoor walk, so just getting more movement in, properly strength training, drinking enough water, sleeping enough. So it wasn't just like she ate more and it was magical. No, she did the fucking work. But it's just an example that you don't need to eat like a bird in order to reach your goals when it's done appropriately. Okay? You can't go out and eat like an idiot and expect to see results. That's not what I'm saying. But when you can properly manage and properly play around with these numbers, we can make it work. Okay? Now, last but not least, and this one's so important, and this one's so important for so many different reasons, and it's one of the things that we neglect the most as Americans in our busy lifestyle, sleep. Guys, so how does your sleep help increase our metabolism? Well, when we sleep, our body produces growth hormones to support muscle growth and repair. So remember, more muscle equals faster metabolism. That's one way. The other ways are pretty straightforward and pretty simple. When you sleep better, you're naturally moving more throughout the day. You're able to put more into your training sessions. You're more likely to stick to your nutrition plan because you have a little bit more willpower and you're not quite as short and your temper isn't as high, right? Your stress hormones will be lower, so you're going to have a little bit less inflammation. And the truth is, guys, sleep is something that you need to prioritize if you want to see results, if you're serious about seeing results. You can do everything else perfect, but if you neglect your sleep, you're only holding yourself back. I get it. it's the end of a long day. You just kind of want to chill on the couch. You want to watch Netflix. You want to scroll on your phone. You want to just fuck around a little bit. But, we're all adults, I think, maybe most of us, right? So just like you make your workouts and your nutrition a priority, you have to do the same for your sleep. So I know this was a lot, and I want to summarize it, guys, because this one is important. Increasing your metabolism starts with muscle, right? And how can we increase muscle to increase our metabolism? Proper resistance training, adequate protein intake, staying hydrated, eating enough, and getting enough quality sleep. So if you guys have any questions about this topic, or you have anything that you specifically want me to cover on the next episode when I go into the nutrition side of things, shoot me a message. Let me know. I always put my information down below, my Instagram, my email, and I want to hear from you guys. So let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know if this is kind of the vibe that you're looking for. But if you learned something from this episode, or if you took something away of value, or if this impacted you in any way, shape, or form, please share the podcast. Please share it on your social media. Share it with one person who needs this information in their life, because like I said at the beginning, guys, the goal of this podcast is to impact people, right? Is to change lives. That's why I'm here. So go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.